The Shepnaz Podcast begins now.
Welcome to the Shepnaz Podcast. I'm Joe, and I'm your host today. And today, we're going to continue a conversation that we started yesterday with our contingent from the Shepnaz Youth. They recently went to winter retreat in Indiana, came back, and they've been inspired to illuminate the whole world because they have spent some time thinking about that theme over the weekend. And as you can see, I will change camera shots, that Cheeto is very much in his illuminating pose, that he is ready to share the light of Christ with all those around him. Welcome back in, Pastor Bryanna.
Thank you for having us.
As you know, we introduced yesterday, we also have with us Mary Kay and Cheeto and Luke. And they have been talking to us a little bit about the theme. Now, we didn't talk any really about kind of what you guys did. So let's get into that. Cheeto, would you like to tell us what you guys actually did on Thursday, or it was Friday evening, Saturday, and Sunday?
Well, first you got to tell them what we did on the way down.
On the way down. Luke and I, funny enough, in one of those little moments that you go, God's a funny guy, we decided to watch Bible Man.
Nice.
And the funny thing is, the episode actually had something to do with the weekend.
Wow.
Which was really funny.
Yeah. So the episode, it was
for all those that want to look it up.
It was oh gosh, now I can't remember the name of it, but it was something about Dr. Fear.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, spooky. And no, but it was really cool because it is kind of obviously very cheesy. It was 90s Bible Man, but it was about how fear can cripple us, and fear can be this really powerful tool that Satan uses. And in the episode, Bible Man's biggest fear is letting down his friends. And when Cheeto and I were watching, I was like, you got to be kidding me. Letting down his friends is his biggest fear. You got Superman kryptonite, and you've got Batman and his parents or something like that. Bringing up his parents really does something to him. But then you've got Bible Man, it's letting down your friends, and it's I probably let down my friends more often than I'd like to admit. And not that I'm a...
Well, then obviously it's your weakness too.
Well, weakness versus fear. He was scared to let down his friend.
I get you.
And the more I got to thinking about it, I'm like, no, that's a legitimate fear. And then in the sermon that night, we had him. The speaker was talking about how fear can cripple you, and how oftentimes we are scared. In the last episode, Mary Kay was mentioning about Peter walking on water, and that has got to be scary. I mean, they're in the middle of a storm, and it says that they're scared.
Yeah.
And these are guys who made their living on this sea. They were on the Sea of Galilee, and this is where Peter was from. He made his living as a fisherman. He had probably been out in a million different storms. And this one was the one that scared him. And yet he's still stepping out of the boat and walking on the water. And not to mention, they're in the middle of this storm, and they think they see a ghost.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of made a joke, and Peter gets attributed with kind of speaking before he thinks. And I think that's very true in this situation too, is he says, well, if you're God, then I should be able to walk out there. And then Jesus is like, well, yeah, go ahead. And Peter's like, oh, wait a minute. I didn't think you'd actually take me up, because I didn't actually think it was you. And so then now he's in this predicament, and Peter's pride sometimes was a good thing. And his ego was like, I can't not do it now. And so he stepped out, and he was stepping out on the water. And it's that same kind of thing. It's even in the middle of your fear, God's going to give you the strength to face it if you ask it.
All right. Well, and as you're kind of taking the microphone now, Cheeto, have you experienced or do you have friends that you feel like fear has played a factor in kind of paralyzing them from taking a move?
There's definitely been a few times in my life. I can't think of specifics, but there were probably a few times where I had to sort of make a decision very like quickly. And I was sort of like freaking out because, you got 20,000 different things going through your head of how this thing could pan out. And, you sort of get like choked up of like you lose your breath, like you can't even speak. And like this fear kind of takes you over and you like lose all sense of control and kind of you feel that you like have lost all the power in a situation.
For me, there was a time in my life like that. And one of my fears at that time was thinking, I can't control this situation. And I'm afraid because what does it mean if I don't have control over this situation? And I won't say that it was an audible voice, but the Spirit was very clearly talking to me and saying, you never had control. You gave that to me a long time ago. And that was the way that He worked in my life to squelch that fear. Because all I was so worried about was like, how do I make all this stuff work? How is this situation going to get solved? And because in my nature, I want to be a problem solver. And instead, He was like, it was never yours to figure out in the first place. It's me. And when you can live in that, then like it does like take a total different kind of approach. Like I don't have to be fearful because I don't have control, because He does. He has control. All right, so Mary Kay, any thoughts on like that whole topic of fear? Do you see your friends kind of having to deal with that, or what would you say are some of the fears that people that you know or associate with, like that they're dealing with? What kind of fears do they have?
I think definitely just in like the like area of my life right now, it's like, because college is, senior year is right around the corner. Like college is coming up, SATs, like everything. And so I feel like it's easy to like get like wrapped up in like, oh, like where am I gonna go, or like because I want to go out of state. And so it's like with that, it's kind of like, what if I pick the wrong school? And then if I pick the wrong school, then it's like I'm in the wrong area. And it's just kind of like a little never-ending cycle for that. But like, yeah.
And those are real things. Mm-hmm. And I wish I could tell you that as soon as you get done with college, all that stuff will just go away. But truthfully, you just signed up for a whole lifetime of it. Like, there's always going to be that voice making you question. But we still have the Father to go to for that peace, and so that we don't have to fear. All right, so we know a lot about kind of what you guys were dealing with and the subjects that you were talking about. Tell me some of the stuff that you guys did. I mean, did you do anything fun while you were there?
So they have a talent show every year. It's called SCO's Got Talent.
I was not going to ask this question, but go ahead.
We were robbed.
It was great. Okay, we definitely were robbed, but it's okay. Like, everybody has their opinion, even if it's not the correct opinion. That's okay. That's okay.
No comment.
But
not even an honorable mention.
So,
did you watch the video?
So there was a talent show.
We were like, so basically, we were going to take over SCO's Got Talent and bring up a bunch of like not talented people, and then boom, we were going to do like a little dance routine. Me and Carter didn't hear the music start. Yeah. And it was over at that point, and I literally like, I just remember being like, there's no way we're going to win. And then all of a sudden, Carter goes, get on stage. And I got on stage, and I ended up rallying a bunch of people on stage. So It was a great time. A bunch of people said
Maybe
we were
can
great.
add in a clip.
Like, a bunch of people
saved the
said we
day.
were great. I did a
Single-handedly
cartwheel on
saved the day.
stage. It's okay.
All I can
like-
say to that is like I've heard this brought up in a couple different conversations, and they were like, "Yeah, they didn't even get a mention." And then it's immediately followed with the comment that Bryanna made. Have you seen the video?
It really was a hot mess. Like, I don't think we deserve to win, but an honorable mention would have been nice.
So-
SEO.
I will say, I think if you heard the music, you would have had a possibility of being placed. Like when you were rehearsing, it was pretty spot on. Like I kind of thought you were gonna win. And then I watched the video. I'm so sorry.
I was okay. Here's the thing: is I wasn't even mad with who won. Okay, because like it was real raw talent. Like those people deserve to win. For second and third place deserve to win. Okay,
But it is valid. Like you guys didn't hear the music. Like the reasoning it was off was it was some technical
Carter defied
errors.
I didn't think we
expectations.
deserved
Okay.
to win. I just thought we deserved an honorable mention.
It was very creative and different, and you
I mean,
know.
Carter ripping off his pants should have been the honorable mention
He had
enough.
pants on under.
Yeah, he wasn't
I
really
have to
good.
say that
Yeah,
real
we
quick.
should preface he took his pants off, but he had gold sparkly pants underneath.
Yes, he had gold sparkly pants under
As
tearaways.
always.
As always, this
I
is
guarantee you that might be what Carter wears under his pants every day, and you could probably
All
I mean,
right,
ask
so-
him about that.
I was afraid we were going to get to the talent show, but I'm hoping something else happened this weekend.
yeah. What?
Snow tubing.
Yeah, snow
Oh, yeah.
tubing. The way I blinked, I'm like,
I talked to girls in the bathroom at like it was like 6:30. Okay, but so our living situation was definitely interesting.
yeah. We
So-
were in a dorm with 50 other girls.
with 4 sinks, might I add, with
Yeah, the
minimal sink room.
Bathroom, only
So
3
we were up
stalls. It was
early.
Yeah, it was different, but
It was not fun, but
friends
it's okay.
were made. Yeah, you had good conversations in the bathroom.
Me and Cornerstone Church are like that. Like,
We played games. There
yeah,
was a
we
bowl.
did.
There was a mechanical bull.
oh, I didn't do that.
There was a mechanical bull. And when I got on, of course, I was in my cowboy hat and I was in Carhartt bibs.
Nice.
And I watched the guy. So like I they had 2 and it was supposed to be like a head-to-head competition. And so it's like this probably 7th, 8th grade girl got like thrown off the bull on the other side. And I was like sitting there, I was like, I'm chilling. And then I saw him flip the switch. Like literally, like he flipped the switch to make
Those
it.
old Looney Tune commercial where
Yeah,
there's
like-
a dial and then there's a part where it says never put here.
Right. And he just
Oh man.
and then started just
Turn it to 11.
and I didn't last much longer after that. I think it was like 13 seconds, which in a real rodeo would have placed.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a yeah.
Next career.
Yes.
I thought
Hey, if pastoring does not work out,
Bivocational rodeo on the side.
Okay, so this reminds me. There is actually a church in Texas that, as a college outreach ministry, what they do is they say like they have bulls in the back of the church, they've got like a pen and they've got a mini rodeo arena, and this thing. I'm not even joking. They say to these college kids, they're like, "Hey, you can come, you can ride for free. We'll teach you how to ride. We'll give you the equipment and everything like that. All you have to do is show up to service."
Well, we could probably do that. We would have to change it a little bit. Like we would have a baptism pool nearby because, we're trying to work towards that. So
Yeah.
when you got thrown, you just get
You get
thrown
baptized.
right into the baptismal
That's
pool.
perfect.
That would be nice.
Got a whole field out there.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
Cheeto, what did you have fun with this past weekend?
oh, I very much had fun with that snow tubing. We almost hit the bag. There's a sandbag that's supposed to stop you if you go that far. We were this close. It hurt because we had to leave after that, and we waited in line for a solid 20 minutes just to come this close.
It probably hurt more than what would have happened if we actually hit the sandbag.
Yes, it would have hurt more.
Oh yeah, that would have been
All right,
painful.
so and the snow tubing was on Sunday?
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it was
It was-
Sunday morning from I think it was like what
9:30 to
9:30
11:30.
11.
So 2 hours.
I liked it better when it was at night. But we actually, okay, granted, I like really went into the snow tubing thinking, I was like, what's that one thing? It's like no good, very bad day. I was so mad because so the year prior, right?
Oh yeah.
It was horrible.
Last year
Okay,
was rough.
it was raining and it was really
icing.
really cold.
Like it was like raining ice in your face.
Like
and
it was just awful. Like I think I literally spent inside the entire time. But
Think-
anyway,
yeah.
it was actually really fun. Like
was
recommend
nice
going when
weather.
it's sunny outside.
Seems like you and Cheeto had a completely different experience.
No, ask him how his experience was last year because it was raining so
Yeah,
hard.
last
awesome.
year was
Yeah,
bad.
last
This year was
this
good.
year I had fun, but
I still had fun. I had my tongue out and everything.
the first year it was definitely, I think just because we had gone on the drive and then boom, like it's like 11 p.m. at night and we were there till like 1 a.m.
Yeah, the first year
And
we
so
went
it's like we
on
were just
Friday
kind of
night.
like dead, like so it's like you had to have fun because like there was nothing else.
Yeah,
like,
you're there, it's late, it's dark.
It was that or like you're napping on a like wet bench.
All right, so you had mentioned Cornerstone. So I take it that you were able to make some friends from other churches.
Yeah, I guess. No, I think it's just like the close proximity and minus Marin. Marin, if you're watching this, she's not allowed to go on another retreat. Like I was literally talking to anybody who would listen to me. It was so
I
funny.
kind of believe that, actually.
It was
Yeah.
so funny. I would just like, if I had like a question I needed to know, like I would be like, oh, does anybody want to go play like cards with us? Or like, oh, how do we feel about wearing the color pink? Like I was just asking it to the room. And whoever responded, and Cornerstone was responding to me. So
All
played
right.
cards with a few random girls.
Well, I think we're just digressing at this point. But
It's a slow burn.
Pastor Bryanna, I would imagine that you've got some things coming up as we're wrapping up this episode. Kind of tell us, the normal things that are going on. We have these special events, but what are the normal things that are going on with the youth group from time to time so that if people aren't involved in it yet, they can get involved?
Yep. We have a middle school pizza night coming up on February 23rd. It's a Sunday from 6 to 8. And it's also, it's open to all Gehanna youth groups. So we're kind of the youth pastors and I, we got together and we've made this event and it's here. So
Nice.
it's $5 to attend, but it'll be another opportunity if you didn't go on retreat to meet new people that are not just like district level, which could be hours away, but like super local. So these could be people you go to school with or live right down the street and you've never talked to them before. So encourage all middle schoolers to come out to that. We also have District Blast in March. So Blast is a time, there's sports, there's music, there's art. It's just like a fun way to kind of use the gifts that God gave you in a competitive level. So more to come on that, but those are kind of things coming up.
And also, you've been doing something a little different on Sundays now.
Yeah.
Also, so could you tell me about that?
Yep. So our fervor that we did on Sunday nights have switched to Sunday afternoons right after second service. So we meet in the youth lounge. We have like a light meal or some snacks, and we just kind of go over the sermon. That's kind of what we're doing right now. I think in the future we might dive into devotionals or things like that. But it's more of just like a small group base time where we just kind of go deeper and just have good fellowship and yeah.
All right. Well, you can join them at any time. And if you would like to get a hold of Bryanna, either that you want to be able to help out with youth, because we're always looking for youth helpers, or if you have some youth that you want to get involved, you can email podcast@shepnaz.org and we'll push that request or that information over to Pastor Bryanna. Also, we would encourage you to go to shepnaz.org. Check out everything that's going on with the church. Also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Do all those likes, subscribes, notifications, bells, whistles, likes, comments. For Pastor Bryanna, I'm Joe. Have a great day. This podcast is a production of the Shepherd Church of the Nazarene, Gehanna, Ohio. Email to podcast@shepnaz.org and let us know what you think.